Hey, what's going on, Tam Squad? My name is Vinsanity if you guys are new, and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So I finally hit Masters for my 6th time, my 6th split getting Masters, so I'm looking forward to getting my 3rd animated Masters badge. And by this point I feel like I've had quite a bit of experience playing in Diamond rank lobbies, and I've learned a lot about what it takes to succeed in them. Today I'm going to give a comprehensive guide with all my best tips for how you can hit Masters rank in Apex Legends Season 10 going forward. The background gameplay is going to be on Olympus, because this last split of ranked was on Olympus, but a lot of these tips will still apply for next season when the two maps will be World's Edge and Kings Canyon. So today I'm going to discuss the following aspects of Apex Legends ranked, and I'll have timestamps on the screen now. First, I'm going to discuss how you can go about finding your ranked squad, or whether you should try to solo queue. I'm also going to discuss mentality or playstyle and the best approach for kind of playing in these lobbies, what your mindset should be going into these lobbies. Then I'm going to cover team composition, including a tier list, where I'll rank some of the legends based on how useful they are in ranked, especially high tier ranked. And finally, I'll conclude with a couple leftover tips and give my personal take about the truth of Apex Legends ranked. So to kick things off, I'm going to briefly go over how you can go about finding a decent squad for Apex Legends ranked. I get a ton of comments on my videos from players who say they've been solo queuing ranked for the past couple seasons and that they just really can't break through Diamond on their own. I mean, to be honest, these lobbies are pretty difficult to play in solo queue, because I'd say 90% of the teams you're going to come up against are preset squads with decent chemistry and clear comms. So if you're on your own, if you are solo queuing and you're not talking to your teammates, you are going to be at a pretty big disadvantage. I do think the best resource for finding squad mates that are of similar skill level to you that you can play rank with is Discord. The Apex Legends general Discord, as well as a personal Discord server that I run, have LFG pages where you can find teammates to play ranked with. I mean, not every player that you play with from Discord is going to be a good match. You're not always going to vibe, but I've met some solid players there that have made the rank push a lot easier. So if you've been looking for a squad for a while, I highly recommend downloading Discord, making an account if you don't have one, and looking in some of those Discord servers. So on to the next topic, I'm going to discuss the mentality or playstyle that you should adopt in Diamond rank lobbies if you want to be successful and consistently gain points. So in my opinion, the most surefire way to consistently gain points in Diamond lobbies is to be very selective about the fights that you take, and try to only select high probability fights where you have some sort of clear edge and should be able to win the fight quickly. So one great opportunity to get some KP is if you land and your team gets some really good shield, RNGs on your side, and you saw that a team landed nearby. In that case, you might want to try to start and get an early fight with that team and get some early KP, which is nice because then you can kind of settle in and not worry about taking fights until endgame. The other main way to get some easy KP is to third party fight, because you'll have a clear advantage over the two teams that are fighting, as you'll be coming in with full health, whereas they'll be focused on the other teams, and you'll likely be able to get the jump on them and get some clear angles. You still have to be kind of smart about third partying though. You want to think about where on the map you are, because if it's a high traffic area, it's likely the case that another team has the same idea as you and they're also going to try to third party, and you'll have to be ready for that. You also want to get the timing of the third party down. Just because you hear shots being fired doesn't mean that two teams are really going at it. They could just be poking from range and, posturing. So you want to make sure they're really fighting. You want to wait for at least one knock, maybe two. That'll convince you that they're really fighting and they're going at it. And in that case, you want to full send. I would jump pad in on it if you can and get in there as quickly as possible. So it really helps to have an Octane on your team, because if you are going to third party something, you want to get there right in the middle of the fight. So if you have an Octane pad, that makes that a lot easier. So another important point that I want to make is that when you do take fights, you want to try to be as efficient as possible. The longer a fight goes on, the more likely another team in the area is going to hear the shots and make their way over to you to try to third party. So poking from range can be pretty unproductive, and it's just going to invite other teams to the area and they're going to try to third party you. So if you do find yourselves in a fight, you want to try to get that first knock and then full send with a jump pad and finish the whole team off as quickly as possible. The faster you can finish a fight and get it over with, the less likely you'll be to get third partied. So yeah, in terms of overall playstyle in Diamond rank lobbies, again, you just want to be selective about the fights you take and try to only take smart fights where you have some clear edge or advantage over the other team, whether that be RNG and loot being on your side, or some sort of mid-game third party where you get a couple knocks and you just full send the team. If you're smart about the fights you take and only take winnable fights, you'll consistently get KP, and then you can focus on endgame, which is really the most important thing. You want to get some early KP if possible. I wouldn't recommend fighting in the range of like 13 or 14 squads left to 8 squads left, because you're missing out on easy placement points and everyone's looking to third party. You want to get those early KP if possible, or really only take fights if there's a clear third party where you'll have an advantage. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to discuss is team composition. In other words, the legends that I think are best for succeeding in these lobbies, and which legends complement each other well, and so on. I have to say, the strongest team comp currently always includes Revenant and Octane, or Revtane. To be completely honest, I hate Revtane. I personally never use him. I don't recommend him, because I think it's just really bad for the game, having an ability that gives you just a free push without any consequences or thinking involved. And it's sad that like 18 out of 20 teams in these lobbies just spam Revtane whenever they take a fight. They're in Revel. They don't take any fights outside of Revel because there's no risk when you're in Revel, which is really dumb, especially when you pair it with Octane's jump pad. He just becomes more deadly because you can set totem hundreds of meters away where no one will find it and then pad on a team without really them having any awareness. You'll just completely catch them by surprise and they'll have no idea where you came from. The audio is really broken with Revtane. So overall, I don't recommend Revtane, but if you're really down bad and you're trying to make points in the shortest period of time, it is the most consistent way to gain points in a safe way. So I'm really hoping they do remove Revtane in Season 10 of Apex Legends. I think that team comp's pretty much ruined rank at this point and turned it into ability spam. But if you are an individual that has some integrity and self-respect and you don't want to play Revtane, there's still a ton of other good options for legends in ranked. First off, I think Bloodhound, Gibby, and Octane are S-tier legends for ranked. Bloodhound scans just provide your team with so much useful intel when you're in a fight. You'll know exactly where your enemies are, whether any of them are split, and you can take advantage of that. So he's really good in terms of providing your team with overall tracking ability and intel. Gibby's just an absolute bullet sponge. His dome provides your team with kind of on-the-go cover, which is really useful for those kind of riskier mid to end game rotations where you might be cut out in the open. And Octane is, in my opinion, probably the best legend for ranked in Season 9 and probably Season 10 of Apex Legends. Just as his pad lets you get out of tough situations and pinches really quickly if you need to disengage from a fight. And on the other hand, if you knock a guy or two guys and you want to full send, having his pad lets you full send them really quickly and get the fight over before you get third party. So along with Gibby, Octane, and Blood, who I think are some of the best legends for ranked, they're S tier, there's a ton of other viable legends for ranked. Crypto, Bangalore, Wraith, even Valk's pretty good. So there's a ton of other options. It's not really set in stone. I ran Bangalore most of the split, who most people don't think is the most useful legend, but I think she's pretty good on Olympus too. So whoever you're most comfortable with sometimes makes the most sense, but I'm going to put my overall rankings in terms of a tier list for Apex Legends ranked on the screen now. Obviously, this is just my opinion, but I think these are in terms of S to D tier. I'm ranking in terms of how useful I think these legends are for ranked specifically. Alright, so now I'm just going to give some other kind of various tips and bits of advice for pushing for Masters. First thing is, you got to realize that ranked these past few seasons has kind of turned into ability spam. There's just going to be some situations where you really couldn't have done anything differently to make it out alive. You're going to get rev pushed a ton. Some people are just going to play weird and rat in strange places. And the meta overall is going to be pretty frustrating. You just got to try to keep your cool, stay composed, and realize some of these things are out of your control, and it's not always a lapse in your decision making that got you killed. Another tip I have is to try to land in the same spot or two every game in ranked. I've noticed that landing in the same spot helps because you'll know where all the loot is, and you'll also get familiar with the rotations you'll need to make. So pick a spot you're comfortable landing at that has decent loot, and make it your home on that map. For me, this is usually Hydroponics or Elysium on Olympus, and either Thermal Edge or Staging on World's Edge, and then Airbase on Kings Canyon. So that's about going to wrap it up for my Masters Guide. I hope you guys enjoyed the vid and took something away from it. The rest of this gameplay is the game that got me to Masters. We didn't get the dub, we got second place, but I just wanted to show you guys the game where I actually get the points that push me into Masters rank. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Worst red push ever. I don't think they've dealt any damage.
They ain't touching none of us.
That pad? You got pad? I don't know if I'll be able to get to that.
You're fine. I don't know if they can shoot.
They're to our right, bro. I think we should try to kill these kids. I don't think they're very good.
Yeah, they are
One. Nice, nice, nice.
There's somebody over here.
They're rezzing. They're insta-rezzing. They're insta-rezzing. Trust.
One at purple. One at purple. I feel like.
Oh my god. I'm gonna
One's stuck down here on his own.
March crack. Get this KP. Ah, Nico. Never mind. There's someone over here. Somebody went up here, bro. Just finish this skill. Finish this guy. Take the purple.
Two of them went up top.
That one got on top.
I don't want to point on that one kid.
In front of us. Oh, there's somebody running out over here. There's a team over here. Oh. They're getting grief. We could probably get an angle on these guys.
I got ult in a second.
Actually, hold on.
I'm ulting them. They're moving right. That path.
Yeah, he goes.
Don't go crazy because you already know the team's gonna just fade.
Yeah, they are pushing him. Watch behind us as well.
I get the finish on them.
You could probably hold this down here, but what I'm talking about, we could hide behind these bins and shit right here. Like, there's a lot of shit we could hide behind.
we might
Go around back here though.
There could be a rat back here.
Yeah, I'm watching.
There is people back here. I think I hear somebody. Yeah, there's somebody right there. Out of the house.
Yo, 142 on Loba. Yo, what? Oh my god.
She's down there.
No.
I think it's a rat. She took a bath.
In Loba, bro.
Wow, I hit her 142. Wow.
Like, I just couldn't get an angle on her, bro.
Yo, right push! Yo, right push! Honest, I mean. Oh, we got it, right push! Look at dumbasses, bro. They're inside that building too, we can take their location.
Okay.
That's actually...
Alright.
Oh, we can take their location, now it's them, inside the house.
Pad is right here.
Me ping. We just need to hold bottom, that's it, we don't have to fight this.
Okay, I'm on the bottom. Yo, look at this team rotating. Dude, there's still
No, don't get tunnel vision. Don't get tunnel vision. These guys on high are gonna push down. We need to be worried about these guys up top of us.
Okay.
There. I think one's one.
Watch, be careful.
If they get on this rail. I'm dropping down a level, I dropped down a level. Yo, they dropped down. Oh, they're smart.
Nice, playing this rail. Playing this rail. Got stuck? Again.
There's somebody to the side right here. What are they doing? You have to probably try to res me.
Hold up, that's not.
Yeah, they're fighting.
Smoke, please, smoke.
Honest, I can't. Who's got gold?
Right there, like.
So like 2 of us alive.
I'm dumb. Yo, I think I got masters. It's gonna be close.
Yeah, just get top two.
Stay in my heat shield. Stay in my shield. My knockdown shield. You got it. You got a second.
That was drought.
Alright, that's it. Never playing ranked.